Greetings all, yes, it's me. I pray you're all in good health and everything's tickety-boo and everything, your life is going really, really well. And we're going to look at some more speed video. And I've found this here today, in fact, and I'll put in the in the descriptions where I got it from. So if you want to go and look at those people and see what's happening. But this young man is actually giving me a little history of swimming. And I thought it was really interesting to see how he's put it together. So let's have a good look at it and let's see what's going on here with this swimming thing. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I pray you're all in good health and everything's tickety-boo. Remember, your health is your wealth and your wealth is your health. The only way you can have good health is by eating good food. You mustn't eat the processed stuff, and it's try not to eat stuff that, like this plastic stuff and rubbish. Try not to eat rubbish, Get some seeds, plant them in the ground or in a window box or in anything. Grow your seeds, yeah, so you can have good health. Anyhow, that's that. Let's have a good look at this and see. Yeah, so let's sit back. I've got my vegetarian wine guns. So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy.
The officer was trying to bump the back of that car.
They spun him out.
He spun out. He's now heading backwards. There wasn't.
Oh my goodness.
That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
What you're watching right now is just one of countless police chases that unfold every day in New York City. But there is one problem. Over half of these suspects hop on the highway, run as fast as they can, and out of nowhere, they just disappear. Despite deploying advanced technology and countless resources, the NYPD hasn't been able to get a single trace on these highway runners. They call themselves the swimmers. A bunch of super secretive figures who work normal jobs but do things differently in secret. They aren't outrunning the police just for the thrill. They're building towards something much bigger, something that could break New York's law forever. And you're about to see how these street racers are uncatchable. New York City has a problem. Beneath this city that doesn't sleep lies a dark, dangerous phenomenon, gripping the highways in a death-defying grip. On New York's highways, some cars are moving like they're in a video game, and the people driving them are crashing and totaling out cars left and right. This reckless driving style is known as swimming, a high-speed dance on the highway where victory isn't measured by crossing the finish line, but by simply staying alive. To swim is simple. It's pushing the engine to its limit, weaving in and out of traffic, sometimes inches away from other cars, to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. The skill comes into play when you have a split second to determine which path to take through traffic, one that can be successful and one that can end up deadly. It's RNG at its core, a random numbers game where luck decides the outcome, and sooner or later, you're going to crash. Now, what makes swimming more exciting to watch? Of course, when it is paired with a police chase. According to New York City Open data, only 5% of hit-and-run drivers who seriously injure or fatally harm people on city streets were caught last year, meaning a staggering 95% of these offenders escaped justice, often aided by obscured license plates that make vehicles untraceable. But why don't the police just chase and arrest these offenders? Quite simply, they can't catch them. These street racers would surpass 210 miles per hour on the highways doing swimming, and most cops don't have the skill needed to keep up with them. Among these notorious street racers, there is a secretive group who have become the kings of swimming. They are the ones who created this and called it swimming, because previously this driving style was called floating. These street racers are the most wanted in New York. Until today, the police still couldn't catch them or even know their identities. They go by the name Swim.
Swim team, you already know what's going on. A logo on PD. Swim team, the dream team.
The Swim Team is a group of secretive street racers whose real names remain a mystery. And these guys are all wanted in New York. They wear hoodies with the name Swim on them and focus on police chases where the average police chase every one of them has experienced is at least 30. The most famous driver within the Swim Team is called Where's 981, and he is the one leading the group. The Swim Team has a solid structure where every one of them has its own speciality. We have Where's 981, the one who created the Swim Team. He is the brain behind the team's activities. Float, he is the teacher. He teaches you how to float, which means he teaches you how to do swimming. The Reaper, he is the low-key swimmer. Brick 50, his speciality is police chases. He also does a lot of drifting. And lastly, we have Billy, the fans call him Lester. His speciality is to help you when you're in trouble. The team also has other members, of course, but that's the most famous ones among them. The Swim Team got a lot of notoriety online doing swimming. These guys regularly go on chases and evade them while recording the entire chase, and then they post their videos online on various platforms including YouTube. These street racers are basically riding the fine white line between life and death to build a fan base. Every death-defying move, every near miss, is captured and shared online, turning reckless stunts into viral content, where the dream isn't just the thrill, it's the payday. For most of them, the end goal is to monetize their dangerous lifestyle, turning followers into income and their names into brands. And let's be honest, everyone on Earth would love to watch these kinds of videos anyway, the kind that keeps viewers hooked, even as they're horrified by the risks being taken. Now, why do they risk it all? Why not just build brands and pay for ads like most businesses? Well, because this works. Let me explain. The end goal for these swimmers is to build profitable brands. They want to induce people to remember their brands in a different way than they might have been accustomed to. In order to do such a thing, the swimmers took advantage of something called guerrilla marketing, an inexpensive and powerful marketing technique that drives customers like wildfire. Guerrilla marketing is an advertisement strategy in which a company uses surprise and unconventional interactions in order to promote a product or service. The term was popularized by J. Conrad Levinson's 1984 book, Guerrilla Marketing. It is an alternative to traditional marketing such as print media, television commercials, billboards, and direct mail. Instead, it focuses on disrupting public spaces and events with unusual, memorable images or activities that may lead to brand association or purchase. Typically, guerrilla marketing relies on human interaction in urban areas to significantly impact a small budget in hopes of spreading by word of mouth and social media. One of the goals of this interaction is to cause an emotional reaction in the clients, so they would see the brand in a new and memorable way. Guerrilla marketing grew in popularity in the early 20s, and since then, many ideas have been recycled. The message to consumers is often designed to be clear and concise. This type of marketing also works on the unconscious mind, because purchasing decisions are often made by the unconscious mind. To keep the product or service in the unconscious mind requires repetition, so if a buzz is created around a product, and if it is shared amongst friends, then this mechanism enables repetition. Now, in the world of social media, shock and adrenaline sell better than any marketing campaign ever could. A single video of a high-speed chase or a death-defying maneuver can rack up millions of views in hours. That kind of exposure is priceless. It's raw, unfiltered entertainment, and it grabs attention in a way no paid ad ever will. For these racers, the danger isn't just part of the appeal, it's the entire business model. These people were basically taking the opportunity of this trend to build their brands and businesses, risking their life on the go. This approach was the same for the most savage street racer of Japan, Smokey Nagata, who did many illegal high-speed runs across the globe, so its brand, which was a tuning company called Top Secret, would catch the global attention. And indeed, he successfully did it after the A1M incident in Germany. We did a detailed video on it. You can check it on our channel from here. Now going back to our subject again, these drivers developed a swimming persona to the point that when they crash their car, they disappear. They disable their Instagram account, and they're gone. It's as if their identity exists only in the moment when they're cutting up, weaving through traffic, defying the odds. That's who they are. The moment they can't do it anymore, they disappear, like they were never there to begin with. So if you're looking to make serious cash online or build a strong brand, the formula is surprisingly simple. Start with a car that can handle high speeds and precision maneuvers. A BMW M Series or a Mercedes-Benz is ideal. Equip it with a dash cam, and you're ready to roll. The game plan? Record yourself pulling off heart-stopping moves, white line cuts, tight evasions, and split-second decisions, all set to the soundtrack of loud thumping music. Post the footage, watch your clout skyrocket, and rake in the views until you crash, of course. If that happens, delete your Instagram, erase every trace of your existence, cash the insurance check, buy another car, and start over. Obviously, that's what most drivers, or let's say copycats, will follow. However, there was one swimmer who stood apart from the rest, a street racer who did things differently. Squeeze Benz is without a doubt the most notorious street racer in New York City. But his fame didn't happen overnight. His story is one of making calculated moves that others wouldn't dare, and a fearless approach to the roads that eventually turned him into a figure of infamy. You see, Squeeze Benz's career didn't start on the streets. It started in the driver's seat. His father, a car enthusiast himself, was the one who first introduced him to the world of driving. At just 7 years old, Squeeze Benz would sit on his dad's lap, his tiny hands gripping the steering wheel while his father guided the car. Then when he was 9, his father used to send him to AutoZone real quick. By the time he was 13, Squeeze Benz was picking up his boys, and that's when he started doing a bit of light swimming, threading through traffic, making quick cuts, and testing his reflexes. As he grew older, the adrenaline wasn't enough anymore. It started to crave something bigger, something more dangerous. That's when he stepped into the world of professional swimming, the high-speed, high-risk maneuvers that would define his reputation. He wasn't just weaving through traffic anymore. He was pushing his car to its absolute limits, taking risks others wouldn't dare, and pulling off stunts that would leave even the bravest racers in awe. However, there was one big problem. New York had a secret weapon, a weapon so powerful that it could track anyone, anywhere, at any time. Yes, you heard it right. I'm talking about the city's most advanced camera system, a network of surveillance that covers every corner of the streets. New York City is home to one of the most advanced camera surveillance networks on the planet. An Amnesty International project revealed that there are over 25,500 public and private cameras scattered across traffic intersections, subways, and other key locations throughout the city. This camera technology can capture faces and other crucial details from up to 400 feet away. The infrastructure behind this is far from cheap, and the cost is staggering. Between 2007 and 2019, the NYPD invested nearly $3 billion in this surveillance technology, combining it with cell phone tracking, spyware, and facial recognition systems. Together, they form an intricate web that's virtually impossible to escape, making New York one of the most watched cities in the world. When street racers run rampant in the city, it's easy for governments to make the argument to increase surveillance in order to shut down this reckless and deadly behavior. After all, capturing these racers is vital to public safety. However, the same technology used to track these criminals can also be turned against the everyday civilian, which many Americans are afraid of. In New York, as in other places, this technology is already being used to monitor the movements of millions of people daily, raising concerns about privacy. It's a fear that many Americans share, especially as systems like AI facial recognition and high-definition cameras become more advanced. In countries like China, this level of surveillance has already led to the creation of a social credit system, where people's movements and behavior are constantly monitored. As this technology continues to advance, most of the copycat street racers have been simply busted and stopped defying the law. As for those who had already tasted success, they have shifted their focus from racing to making their brands profitable. Stuff like selling merchandise and building things related to gaming. stuff that the swim team is doing right now. But for Squeeze Benz, things were different. Instead, he began planning, finding ways to outsmart the very technology that had the city's streets under constant watch. So how did Squeeze Benz manage to outsmart this advanced technology and evade capture? First, he made sure that no camera could capture his identity by wearing a mask, effectively blocking facial recognition and leaving authorities with no leads. But that wasn't all. Squeeze Benz didn't rely on his personal car anymore. He started using Turo, an app that allows people to rent cars online directly from their owners. By renting different vehicles each time, he made it nearly impossible for the police to track his car or predict his next move. He went a step further, ensuring that no one knew his true identity or what he planned to do with the rented car. Then, his strategy of getting out of the police is by hopping on the highway. Now, most of these cops are not really built for that and do not know how to drive on the highway. And for someone like Squeeze Benz, he can easily ghost them. He goes in police chases for about 30 to 40 minutes straight, pushing the limits of both his car and his pursuers. But the real genius was in what he did afterward. When the chase finally ended, Squeeze Benz stashes his vehicles so that the police don't trace him to his house by paying for private garages where he parks his cars. He basically does the same thing as a drug dealer who has different stash garages. Now when it comes to the cars, Squeeze Benz and other street racers rely on a clever trick to stay under the radar for as long as possible. They can evade detection for so long by altering or covering up their license plate so the car cannot be tracked by police or the traffic cameras. Cars with this modification have been nicknamed ghost cars. Pursuits in a city as densely populated as New York are extremely dangerous to civilians and pedestrians, which leads the NYPD to almost always call off chases for non-violent crimes like street racing and speeding. Officers prefer to use the offender's license plate to identify the individual and arrest them later in a much safer environment. With a fake or no license plate, Squeeze Benz and other criminals can navigate the city without fear of being tracked. This makes it almost impossible for the police to tie a car back to its owner or its previous activities. With the ability to blend in and disappear, ghost cars have become a powerful tool in evading the law, making it even harder for authorities to catch. In January 2023, Squeeze Benz posted his first viral video racing on the Jackie Robinson Parkway in Brooklyn, setting a faster time record than the leader of the swim team, wears 981, and from there, his notoriety reached new heights. His fame didn't explode overnight. It started a year earlier when he got his first Benz and began posting casual driving videos. At first, it was nothing serious, just a way to share his love for speed. But soon, his boys started telling him how people were blowing up on social media by posting videos of their driving stunts. That's when it clicked for Squeeze Benz. He had been doing swimming for about 9 years. His reputation grew by consistently evading chases, even with multiple police cars chasing him at once. But the most daring chase he had when he outran the helicopter. Squeeze Benz got away from the helicopter. It was late night, he was driving the Porsche, and with that Porsche, he did a crazy 210 miles per hour one-handed, driving with one hand and filming with the other one. He just hopped on the highway, and the helicopter could only go so fast, he goes faster than the helicopter. Shortly, Squeeze Benz became super famous among enthusiasts, and every video he posted went viral. In response, the NYPD began to chase suspects more aggressively at the beginning of 2023, with a 600% increase in pursuits compared to the previous year. This surge in chases was largely driven by the community response teams, which consist of plainclothes officers in polo shirts and khakis driving unmarked vehicles, typically blacked out Ford Tauruses. But regardless, Squeeze Benz seems to be doing his same stuff without getting caught. After 1 year of his first viral video, he did a bold move where he posted a new video of him drifting in Times Square. The video gained millions of views, as Squeeze drove a BMW M3 like it was stolen. Soon after, Squeeze would post another video of himself in a BMW M2, this time taunting police cars and escaping with ease. These videos gained a massive popularity, attracting a streamer called Neon, where Squeeze and Neon streamed themselves swimming through the highway while driving a Lamborghini Urus. While Neon was screaming in the passenger seat, other swimmers joined Squeeze Benz to challenge him on the highway until the unexpected happened. An Infiniti crashed into Squeeze. He never stopped after the crash, and he ran away. Shortly, the NYPD claimed that Squeeze Benz was arrested and revealed his name to the public, Antonio Ginestri. However, after Squeeze Benz got arrested, he quickly got released. He disappeared for 4 months from the online world just to come back again and post the same content he used to post. This guy went crazy this time that by the date of this video, his recent viral post was shot with a drone in Times Square where he drifted in red light intersections with his team. Some people claim that Antonio is not the real Squeeze Benz and that Squeeze paid him to be caught. But if he is the real Squeeze Benz, then why was he released so fast? Well, that's because of something called the New York Bail Reform Law. You must pay bail in full to be released from custody. In the state of New York, you could serve up to a year in prison if you recklessly drive. But if someone is injured or killed during the act of reckless driving, you could find yourself facing some serious charges. Now with New York bail, these drivers can get released every time they get arrested. And hearing that there's no consequences really for what these guys are doing, it makes sense why they're still doing it. Let's say you get arrested, you have to pay like $350 to $500 bail to be released. For most street racers, this seems like a fair trade because every video they post brings them thousands of dollars in return. New York's highways aren't just roads anymore. They've become arenas for adrenaline, rebellion, and danger. This trend shows no signs of slowing down. It's only growing with influences spreading across America and even globally. You can clearly spot it in countries like Georgia, Algeria, and Saudi Arabia, where street racers are adopting the same dangerous tactics and building their own underground scenes. The videos continue to circulate online, fueling the thrill seekers and aspiring racers who want to chase the same adrenaline rush. But the big question is, will swimming ever find its end? Or will it continue to spiral out of control?
Yeah, so there you go. It's crazy, isn't it? Really madness. But yeah, so that's swimming, and that's I think it's quite exciting actually. I think it's I think if I was younger, I don't know, and I don't know if I would be doing that. I mean, now having my sense, I wouldn't do it. But if I was younger, I think I might have done it. You know, that's the type of thing I think I would have done. You know. Anyhow, that's this one. If you enjoyed it, like, share, subscribe, and remember, the Most High loves you more than I do, and always, always love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't love nobody else. So you got to love yourself, yeah, and the Most High. The most important. No, excuse me, please. Those wine gums. Anyhow, listen, I love you all, and remember, be good. And if you can't be good, be careful. And if you can't be careful, buy a pram. See ya.